everyone, welcome back. I am so excited today because we are doing a home vlog. We are talking about a city that musicians sing about and poets write about. We're talking today about New Orleans. So the first question you may want to ask is, why go to New Orleans? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 reasons. There's more, but I'm going to narrow it down to 3. The music, the food, and the people. The music is fantastic. There are so many places you can go check out, and my advice is to Google and do your homework before you head out, but I am going to give you some tips. Second is the food. My husband and I get joked at all the time because we do not like seafood. And so our friends go, why the heck are you going to New Orleans? There's so many other things to eat there other than seafood, but if you do like seafood, you have to try New Orleans. There is stuff everywhere that you would love to eat. The third is the people. The people are so friendly. They're so nice. They greet you with a smile. They say good morning. I've never had an issue. I love any of the interactions I've had with people in New Orleans. So today I'm going to offer you tips on our experiences geared more towards maybe a first-time traveler to New Orleans, or if you're going back and maybe something maybe you haven't experienced and you want to try. These are a list of things that we have done, we have enjoyed, and I think that we feel they would be helpful to you. So the first thing is, when do you go to New Orleans? Everybody automatically jumps to Mardi Gras, go to Mardi Gras, and that's cool. You can go to Mardi Gras. We've never gone to Mardi Gras. Way too busy for us, way too busy. Also, the prices jump. Hotel, food, you name it, everything jumps up in price. So we avoid big festival seasons and New Orleans. We tend to go in early May or in November because the temperatures are just right. Do not go in the summer if you don't like heat. End of June, July, and August, it is brutal. I mean, hot weather. So if you can avoid it, don't go in those months. That's just my advice. But if you're strapped to a certain schedule, then that's what you have to deal with. Okay, so hotels. We have pretty much stayed in the French Quarter, and yes, there are nice places all over. Central Business District, the Magazine Street area, the Garden District, all over the place. There is nice places to stay. For us, we enjoy the French Quarter because it's kind of a little main hub, and there's certain spots we always like to go in the quarter, and then we work our way out. We have stayed at a hotel called Maison de Puy, and again, I will show photos to this as I talk down in the video. I will also post links under the video. So Maison de Puy is at the top part of the quarter, farthest from the river. So it's about 10-15 minute walk down towards the river, and there's a lot of things down by the river, and there's a lot of things in the middle. We have stayed at this hotel. We think it's a beautiful hotel, and the prices are pretty decent. The people are really nice. The other 2 hotels we've stayed at are sister hotels, and it's Hotel Le Marais and Hotel Mazarin. Both of these hotels are a little bit more than Maison de Puy, but you get a breakfast with the cost of the room rate. And I think this is really important because their breakfasts are really good, especially Hotel Mazarin. That was our favorite of the 2. You are not getting a stale muffin and a banana. You are getting grits, and you're getting bacon, sausage, toast, eggs, cereal, yogurt. You're getting so much food that if you plan it right and have breakfast just a little bit later, not super early in the morning, you most likely will be able to skip lunch, which will save you a little bit of money. Some things tend to get a little pricey. So those are the hotels that we have stayed at, and we've also rented a like an Airbnb type of place outside the quarter. Please keep in mind that in the French Quarter, I think it was last year or the year before, the city banned rentals, house rentals and apartment rentals, places like Airbnbs, VRBO, all of that. It makes it hard for people who live in that city to find a place to live in the quarter, just because they get bought up and then they're rented out to people. So the French Quarter itself, as far as I know, still stands as you can't do that. So if you have, or you're looking at booking a property that way, be careful, because I don't know if they get caught, if you're going to get your deposit back, or if your holiday might get canceled before you end up showing up. It's just to keep in mind. Okay, so one of the other things that we like to do while we're there is to rent bikes. I know you might be going, I don't want to bike around on my holiday. Well, I'm going to tell you, the prices are affordable and there's lots of places to rent from, and I will include a link below to the place that we rented. And New Orleans is flat, so you can bike all over the place, and it's really easy. Like, we go through 5 different districts in a day, and we stop and eat lunch, we stop, have a drink, stop and do shopping. I myself think it's a great way to get around. The second one, and it's probably actually the more important one, is to do the hop-on, hop-off bus tour. This stops all over the place. There is a pickup point in the market, French Quarter, and then it goes all around from there. If you get, there's like a 1-day pass and a 3-day pass, and you can buy different levels, but you can get ones that include, so 3 days, and then also you get tours. So I'll explain that in a minute. So my suggestion is you get on the bus, you do the whole circle, and then decide where you want to hop off. Just stay on the bus and keep going. And then you can hop off, go explore an area, come back, and I think they come around maybe once every 20 minutes, hop back on, and then go to the next destination. Some of them include tours. So we did a walking tour in the Garden District. So you hop off, they'll give you times for that, you wait for the tour guide, and off you go. There's also ones for the cemetery tour. I do suggest, if you're doing the cemetery, I think it's in Treme, just outside of the French Quarter, you do a tour on this, and don't venture in on your own, just because when we were there, we were told that sometimes there can be some shady people that hang around in that one, and you just don't want to get yourself into trouble. So it's best to do a tour. If you're in a large group, people don't bother you. My husband and I did our own little tour of a cemetery in the Garden District. It was quieter, and it felt safer, and we didn't have any issues. Why do a cemetery tour? They're cool, man. Down there, their cemeteries are so neat, totally different from the ones in Canada. Everything's above ground. They have these neat old crypts. I'm telling you, it is so cool. And especially if you do a tour, they'll explain some of the history of some of the famous people that are buried in the cemetery. So you can hop on and go all around the place. They stop at Mardi Gras World, the National World War II War Museum, cemetery stops, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So look into that. To me, that is one of the best buys that you can do. And like, if you buy a 3-day one, then you can just casually go in and out, hop off and do tours. And the tour guides on the bus also talk to you as you drive around the city, and they're fantastic. So one of my suggestions, though, is if there is like shade on top of one of the buses, you might want to sit under that. But it is nice to sit on the top. You get a better view of everything. So that to me is a big yes. So as I mentioned, the Garden District. You have Magazine Street. That thing goes for miles, and there's shops and restaurants and bars and everything. So you could keep really busy if you go to Magazine Street. So that's another popular place to go. If you want some nice music in the evening, you can head on over to Frenchmen Street. It's just on the cusp of French Quarter. and it has really good clubs. Places like the Spotted Cat Bistro, the Blue Nile, Cafe Negril. These places, genuine music. Bourbon Street, I myself don't really like Bourbon Street that much. It's kind of trashy, lots of drunk people, it smells like vomit, smells like urine, strip clubs, kind of tacky music, but definitely to go see at night, at least for once of a walk down the street. It's very lively and entertaining, but if you want to go see some really good music, head on over to Frenchmen Street. And again, I would research this before you go to see who's playing and whatnot. Lots of restaurants. There are some really good restaurants in town, and some of the more popular ones you really have to make a reservation for. So keep that in mind before you go. You can't just walk up and be like, hey, I want to eat dinner here. Odds are they'll be like, sorry, we're full. So keep that in mind. I know it's a bit of planning, but you may want to look into it before you head down. Something else that we did was we went on the steamboat. There's 2 steamboats. We went on the Natchez and we did a jazz lunch, I believe it was. And you get a little bit of a small lunch buffet, and it goes down the Mississippi for a little bit, and they talk about spots along the river. We really enjoyed this, and we thought it was worthwhile. So again, I think there's 2 there, and you would really enjoy that if you do something like that. Tours. You can do tours. Keep in mind when you're doing tours, it takes a whole day out of your schedule. We tend to go down for about 4 days. Anything shorter than that, we don't feel is worth it. Anything longer, you start to get maybe a little tired because it is a hectic. It's not like Las Vegas, but it's similar. There's a lot to do. So we did a Bayou Swamp tour. I will put the link down below also for that. It was on Jean Lafitte's swamp tour, and we had a really good time. And you have to organize that ahead of time, buy tickets, tell them where you're staying, they come and pick you up. So you have to be really conscious of making these reservations and being outside on time for the bus when they come by, the shuttle, because they'll leave without you. And it's quick, so if you're supposed to be there at 8 a.m., you be there like a few minutes before 8 a.m. and wait, because you don't want to miss out on it. So we did that. We did a plantation tour. We went to Oak Alley. It was fantastic. Again, this takes a whole day, so you have to keep that in mind. But we really liked it. There are other plantation tours, and there are also different, I think you can do combos. So you can go and do a swamp tour and a plantation tour on the same day, whatnot. I will post links for that as well. But I highly recommend it, and again, you don't want to do all of these on one trip because it eats up a lot of time. Audubon Zoo, they have the Aquarium of the Americas, I believe it's called. That aquarium is fantastic. It is gorgeous. So I recommend going down and seeing that. It's down by the river. We really, really, really liked it. Also the zoo. I know people are like, oh, zoo, I don't want to go to zoo. Well, it's really, really good. I mean, they're so good with the animals. There's so much space. It doesn't feel like you feel sorry for them. They're really treated well, and they have a good life. Let's just say that. There's reasons they're probably at the zoo. It's not like they went and brought them in. There's probably reasons while they're there, and it's a beautiful zoo. There's a little trolley you can pay extra for that does like a behind the scenes little tour. I suggest that. It was a nominal fee, and we really enjoyed that. You can see the backside of certain things when you're going through. So we had fun doing that. There's also like a butterfly conservatory too. That's linked to all of those that you might enjoy. So what else is there to do? I'm just thinking here. There's the French market. That's also down by the river. You can buy knickknacks and souvenirs, Mardi Gras masks, hot sauces, you name it. And it's also right near some beignets. You have to get a beignet when you're there. They're so good. National World War II War Museum. We also went to this, and we were really glad we did. It is a beautiful museum, and I think it is a worthwhile visit if you're going to New Orleans. It's not far out of the way at all. Another thing to do is ride the St. Charles streetcar. I also suggest you sit on it and ride it the whole way around just for the experience, and then you can hop off whenever you want. We hopped off at the zoo, so that was really fun. So I do suggest that because it is one of those historic things you see in photos all the time is the streetcar. So yeah, that covers a lot of the things that I would suggest you go and do. I also compiled a playlist that I will attach a link below to of some interesting street music. Like I mentioned before, whenever you're there, there's going to be some people playing music as you pass by. And so I just did a little playlist of some nice toe tapping music if you want to have a listen. Do's and don'ts in New Orleans. Okay, so first things first, I would say don't flash your money around. Don't flash expensive camera equipment around. Be aware of where you are at night. The market is kind of a target for people getting pickpocketed and robbed just because it's a huge tourist area and people are drunk and they get confused and they stumble down the wrong street and voila. Always be aware of where you are. Go down lit streets. Go down streets where people are already walking. Don't go down like a quiet area that you don't see very many people on and the streets aren't very well lit. That's just my advice for you, and I think you should really pay attention to that. Just be aware of what you're doing and where you are. I've already told you what times of the year to go. Do not go in the summertime. If you fly in, I suggest you take an Uber or a cab or some sort of a shuttle from the airport, and don't rent a car. One, the hotels charge a lot now for parking, and so that adds on to your hotel fee. Two, it is so crammed in the market, the French Quarter area, that you're just going to get frustrated, and it just wastes a lot of time. Anywhere you need to go, you can get there by streetcar, trolley, Uber. To me, it's not worth it to rent a car, so don't bother. Try other neighborhoods. This is a big thing. Don't just stick to the French Quarter. Go outside of the areas and check things out. Again, do some research, but you can go over to Magazine Street, Central Business District, Warehouse District, all over the place. And this is where the bikes come in handy because you can bike all through these areas and find all kinds of interesting things. Yes, you can drink openly walking down the street in the French Quarter. They're very liberal with all of that. But you cannot have glass bottles. If you are walking around with a glass bottle with alcohol in it, they're going to take it away from you. If you're in a bar and you're not finished your drink and you want to keep moving, ask for a to-go cup. They will put it in a plastic cup and off you go with no problems. So just keep that in mind. If you're carrying around a glass or a glass bottle of some sort, they'll confiscate it. Don't forget to tip. Tip your waiters, tip your bartenders, tip your servers. They really rely on this. They deal with lots of drunk people, sometimes obnoxious people. They work hard. Just give them a tip. They deserve it. In my opinion, they deserve it. So that's about all I can think of at the moment. If you have been to New Orleans and you'd like to share, please leave a comment below for me. I would love to hear your stories. If you have a question for me, leave it below and I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can with whatever answers that you need. I am glad we were able to bring this vlog to you and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
If you found the tips in this vlog helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We will also be doing future home vlogs with travel tips on places like Siesta Key Beach in Florida and area, and Walt Disney World in Orlando. Once again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell if you'd like to have an alert next time our video is loaded. Thanks for watching. See you next time.